Hi, Michael Feldman here on WPR, Whad'ya Podcast Radio. Nice to be back on the air again, except for the static. Well, I think I'm over my head this week on the Whad'ya Know Podcast Radio broadcast on the Facebooks. I've got David Quayman and the Tangled Tree, which is a radical new history of life, and it's the entire history of life. And it's radical, and I don't know if I'm up to it. We got here, what is this? Non-Perel science writer David Quayman explains how recent discoveries in molecular biology, okay, that's the biology of molecules, I'm thinking, have changed our understanding of evolution and life's history with powerful implications for human health and even our own human nature. I wouldn't say even our own human nature. It's kind of demeaning, isn't it? In the mid-1970s, scientists began using DNA sequences to examine it. Okay, just DNA sequences, not so bad. Molecular phylogenetics is what I'm thinking. Exploring, you got a lot of things you got in your genome that you can't otherwise explain, and I don't just mean your old dad. We're talking about your kidney could have a clam in it, unless I'm reading this wrong. But you could have inherited genes from clams, which become part of your kidney, and that's why they clam up on you sometimes. So it's called horizontal horizontal gene transfers, HGT, of course. Well, I'll just abbreviate that. Your genes can be traded sideways, so that it's like you think a horizontal promotion is pretty much the same thing, but this is actually genes coming from different species in a horizontal transfer, because the tree of life, you see, has been vertical all this time, as most trees are, and branches upward. But now they branch sideward and upward, and it's a really big tree across species boundaries and everything. So if you wonder why some people that you may have met remind you of reptiles, for some reason, you can't quite pin it down. It's because, maybe they are. Okay. So that's this week. It's on Saturday on the Facebooks. And you know where that is, of course. Whad'ya Know Facebook? Whad'ya Know Facebook page. Boy, this Crosley needs some work. It's still got its original tubes, as do I. So that's 10 a.m. Central Time, around midnight in Seoul, South Korea. The Tangled Tree is our guest, and of course, all the news that isn't, and Lyle Anderson. So, hope to talk to you then. So we get some of the static figured out.
Nope. Mr. Pop. Weed.